Sometimes football isn't fair. Sometimes the team with more chances, more pressure, and at times more control ends up with nothing to show for it. And sometimes, just sometimes, a second half can blow out so badly that a team with Premiership credentials can get the beat down for a half and somehow dominate. Yeah, Optus, under the glare of the Perth twilight, Carlton came out of the block strong. They came to fight, they came to shock. And for 2 quarters and a bit, they almost did. But the story for so many of this year for the Blues ends the same way. Promising start, a fade out, some glimmers of hope, but ultimately their own worst enemy. Fremantle 15 goals for 94 defeated Carlton 10 goals 767. A 20-point win for the Fremantle that felt like a rescue mission rather than a domination. But make no mistake, the Dockers are the real deal, and this is adding a string to their bow. Even adversity doesn't stop them. No Hayden Young for most of the game, they found a way. Let's talk about them Blues, and let's talk about what happened. The opening bounce, you could be forgiven for wondering what the hell happened with Carlton. Carlton came out humming. After many weeks of being questioned about their effort and intensity, Carlton looked rejuvenated. Cooper Lord playing on the ball straight into Sarong at the opening bounce, laying a crunching tackle, and Ashton Moyer, seconds later, robes the pack beautifully in kicking a goal. And before Fremantle could blink, Carlton had 10 inside 50s to none. It was pressure football, it was manic, but more importantly, it was measured. It was short and sharp. Cripps and Hewitt were like the conductors in the middle, and players all around them were benefiting from handball receives. Blake Acres was getting up and about. He slotted one from the pocket and put a bout of salt in the Fremantle fans. Carlton had a 20-point lead. Carlton looked in control. Freo looked disorganised and shell-shocked. And then, just when you thought Fremantle's night couldn't get worse, Hayden Young grabs his groin, limps to the bench, done for the night. The midfield maestro gone. So how do Fremantle survive a hot Blues? Cue former Blue bagger Oscar McDonald to kickstart a purple-coloured fight back. A second quarter goal to break the drought. Carlton did have answers though. Fogarty, legend that is Franny Evans, and Harry O'Farrell slotting his first AFL goal from a 50-metre penalty. Minutes later though, the tables turned. A knee injury turned out to be an ACL for Harry O'Farrell. But at half-time, the Blues were 8-1 to 4-1. Carlton had them rattled. Freo just had one centre clearance in the first half. They looked small, second-rate, out-muscled. And obviously something was said at the break, because Caleb Sarong, Luke Jackson, Pat Voss, and a certain Josh Tracy clicked into gear. Tracy banged one from 50. Voss bollocked his way through. Murphy Reid started to find space and hit up Jaya Miss. The Dockers got within touching distance. Harry Mackay, he finally clung to one. All tackle pressure this week from Harry. Not much marking. The Blues led by 8, but you could see the energy was low. They were hollowed and they were spooked. And as it's happened all season, they succumbed. Fremantle roared. A Josh Tracy goal, Dudley goal, a miss, Voss Smith, Dudley again. Carlton, 1 goal in the final quarter, 2 for the second half. Final score, 94-67. Fremantle by 27. And at times, it was so easy. Let's talk about the talking points. Hayden Young for Fremantle. You could feel the oxygen leave the stadium, even on the TV. This guy had just returned from his own hammy injury, was dominant last week, was fast becoming the hopes of Fremantle's midfield engine. His loss from a structural and a balance point of view is really bad. They did manage without him this week, but this injury, if it is serious, it puts a dent in September hopes. The fourth quarter Dockers, though, 4 of their last 5 wins, they've trailed at 3-quarter time. This is not ideal, but this is testament to their belief. They managed a way to stay in the game, grind, and overrun teams. They keep something in the tank. Carlton collapsed. They imploded like a submarine full of millionaires. But Fremantle, they exploded. That's not just fitness, that's system, mentality, and self-belief. Let's talk about Carlton's third quarter disease. This is now a terminal issue. They've won 3 Just 3 third quarters all season. None since round 7. They've lost 7 games after leading at halftime. This is something that's not broken in their DNA. It is completely eradicated. Mentally, structurally, emotionally, when it comes to holding a lead or pressing home the advantage, there is nothing there. Cripps and Hewitt had a shit ton of the ball, but it means nothing when collectively the team disappears after half-time. This is a real pandemic from the Blues, and it has existed for a long, long time. Let's talk about the Purple Towers. Over in the south of Australia, we've got the Trio Towers. This we're calling the Purple Towers. Logan, Miss, and Tracy. Boy, oh boy, it's good. Vossi and Co, they really do it. They weren't just effective, they were clutch. Contested marks, snaps at goal, forward pressure, they work in sync. It is fascinating to watch. And then you throw in Luke Jackson in that hybrid role. This forward line is dangerous, and just as dangerous as the South Australians. Jordan Clark, if he's not in your All-Australian conversations, we're doing this wrong. 30 touches, he was electric off half-back. He kept the game moving. He definitely should be in the All-Australian thoughts. His impact off half-back flank is absolutely frightening. And at times, he turned Carlton into static. The Blues' big picture, let's not sugarcoat this. This was Carlton's chance, really, in my opinion, to throw some final spanners in the works, to make a statement. And for periods of this game, they did, right? Cripps was Herculean. Hewitt was tireless. Lord was impressive. Williams had his moments. Evans kicked 2. Tireless working. But it ends the same way as it always does. And at the moment, Carlton's system isn't so much a system. It's purely effort-based. And a good system stops you having to worry about it. They were outscored 11 goals 3 to 2 goals 6 after the break. That's outclassed, outfought, outworked, out everything. 6 straight losses when leading at halftime. Voss keeps talking about this nonsense Carlton way, but what is the Carlton way? Right now, it's just effort without any polish. It's chaos without control. It's pride without payoff. It's a game that is the microcosm of the season. Good in patches, but when it really counts, absolutely limp. And this is a real big question for the Blues. The Dockers, they now sit well in the top 8. 10 wins from their last 11, beating St Kilda, Collingwood, Hawthorn, Carlton in the past month. They're doing it with depth. Dudley, Reid, Smith, Voss, all young, all hungry, and all stepping up. But they must fix their midfield without Aidan Young. They got away at times, the Blues, from them, but it won't come easy when you get into finals. But Sarong is a freak. Jackson is an absolute dynamite. Brayshaw is so strong and just in a groove at the minute. They're a team you don't want to face in September, but they do have a little bit of higgledy-piggledy with Hayden Young. He is a massive point of difference. Does that mean Jordan Clark goes up into the midfield? Time will tell. Let's talk about the warped sense of satisfaction. At the moment, the Blues are looking for positivity everywhere. Michael Voss noticed in his post-game comments that the Blues fielded 6 players under 25. This is all good. Now, while that's true on paper, it's a comment that lacks any context. Fremantle had 3 players under 25 games, just half as many as Carlton, but they only had 6 players under 50 games compared to Carlton's 8. When you flip the screen, though, to 150 games, Carlton had 7 players compared to 4 of over 150 games. On average, Carlton's team was older by half a year, and this is where the narrative becomes dangerous. Carlton feel young by necessity, but they're not inexperienced, not in raw number of games. They have got enough players here to make a difference. The issue isn't youth. The issue is the lack of that middle-aged gamers, them 60 to 130 games that not only carry structure, they carry the hopes and dreams and also the fabric and the DNA of your football club. Fremantle's spine is built on the next wave tier. They're not jaded, they're not rebuilding, they're hungry, they're unscarred. On Carlton, on the other hand, it's kind of it's really hard to understand, isn't it? It's got experienced campaigners doing everything right, but then that next tier falters. The likes of Sard, Wheatering looks a bit shaky at times. We've seen McGovern. He has been incredibly shaky, although he didn't play this game. That next tier of superstar isn't there. Where Fremantle have that collective voice, at the moment it seems a lot is required of a very few of the Blues. The leaders beyond them don't take any ownership. This is a pattern now in Carlton's losses. And that mid-tier age group of players, the meat in the middle of the structural sandwich, if it were, They seem like they've been battered and bruised, or they're just simply not good enough and they're B-grade players. These last quarters continue to bite. Carlton fans know this all too well. This is deja vu. This wasn't a game that Carlton needed to win to make finals. We are looking at a team that potentially, if they lose all 3 remaining games, could finish as low as 16th, right? That Essendon game could be a shootout. This is one that really is worrying. And it's okay, you can gloss it as much as you want with youth and depth, but that's a problem. Shout out Harry O'Farrell, who has been absolutely sensational since coming in. Losing him for 12 months is a heartbreaker and a bitter pill to swallow, so we're sending him his love here. So what do we learn? Fremantle, they can win ugly, they can win with kids, they can win with their backs against the wall. They have really built something here, and I'm really, really enjoying what they're going about. Carlton, they can compete in stages, but it's not 4-quarter efforts. And what's scary is, at the minute, effort trumps system. Fremantle showed they're contenders. Carlton showed they are where they are. They're not ready for finals, and they've got a long way to go. September will come fast for Fremantle. They've ordered the whole bloody buffet, and they're going to be very entertaining come the finals time. Let's hope they get it done. For the Blues, a long off-season awaits. Let me know what you feel in the comments. Can Fremantle go all the way? Are you impressed by them? What do you think causes the Blues? At the minute, no shape, no skills, no system, and it's just relying on intense effort. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Till next time, Pom out.